You know what makes Chud the Builder and Charleston White so equally parallel and the same is that both of them are dangerous. They are absolutely dangerous to the Black American community. And here's why. You know, for Chud the Builder side, now we know that as this case continues to unravel, we're finding out more and more information on every day on what has led him finally behind bars for now a considerable amount of time in regards to an attempted murder case where he put two citizens and himself in harm's danger under a firearm. Why? Because he was doing it for his views on his social media platform, and it was a hate crime as well. Now, it hasn't been called a hate crime yet, but we know Chud the Builder because of the hate crimes that he has committed throughout these past 2 years. We've also found out that he's been supported by a white racist terrorist group here in the United States. And he has a cult following. He has people that support him, and he goes around with a firearm that he has registered, antagonizing Black people and calling them offensive names, making sounds and gestures, trying to incite rage videos. On the other hand, you have Charleston White. Charleston White is even more insidious, in my opinion, because Charleston White is Black American. He has the lineage of Black slavery ancestors. I'm assuming on both sides. So I'm just assuming that it's on both sides. And so he knows the history here in the United States when it comes to how the public perceives Black Americans. Charleston White is a part of that minority within minority. Charleston White is a former criminal, okay? He completed college, however, a successful example of what a Black collegiate person should behave like. He has been invited to an HBCU college, and he came there disrespecting their campus. He left after arriving there, not really giving a respectful speech or any type of words of encouragement. It was just something that was just like trash. It was as if the Ku Klux Klan came there and visited a HBCU and threw out their trash on their campus and took off in their vehicle. That's what Charleston White did. That's what I feel like he did. Okay? From the outside looking in as a spectator. And on the day after President Trump winning the election, he gets on his social media platform in rebel gear. He has his headscarf on, t-shirt, pants, and a big rebel flag, dancing in celebration that Donald Trump has won. Can I ask you something? What does a rebel flag and Donald Trump have to do with each other? When Donald Trump was born in New York. I was born in New York. In fact, we were born maybe about 30 minutes apart from each other. What does a rebel flag, he is not from the South, but what does a rebel flag have to do with voting in a Republican president from New York? He's a Yankee. And then he uses his platform in this most recent case of Carmelo Anthony versus the Metcalf family, in which I am so sorry that they lost their son. I truly am sorry that they lost their son. What parent, I'm a parent, what parent would want to bear the loss and the agony of losing their child? Nobody. But there are certain circumstances that led up to him losing his life. Now that the verdict has been read and the sentencing has gone about, unfortunately, Carmelo Anthony at this moment has 35 years in prison. Carmelo Anthony is a Black American student who was a straight A student, had a very bright future ahead of him, was attending an athletic event where he was a very great and up-and-coming collegiate star. And the victim was Austin Metcalf, who was also, too, a straight A student, was a great athlete, also, too, on his way to a great collegiate career. And again, unfortunately, Austin Metcalf lost his life due to a conflict that happened between two high school students. And it involved a device that they use on their cleats as track athletes. According to Carmelo Anthony's side, he felt as if his life was being, it was in jeopardy. And that, according to his story, there was not just Austin Metcalf that was coming for him, but it was 3 other individuals. One of those was considered Austin Metcalf's brother, and the other 2 were friends. And so for Carmelo Anthony, he felt that it was 4 against 1. It got so aggressive to where he protected himself, and he used that little device. It was a device that punctured Austin Metcalf, and he ended up losing his life afterwards. But after that happened, and the ruling happened, and the sentencing, and Carmelo Anthony, the young Black American student, was detained and taken to prison, Austin Metcalf, who was the white child that lost his life, his father gets onto his social media platform for 3 hours, calls Black people all types of ungodly things, tries to demean and degrade the Black American community no matter who you are. He just saw race. And now that this is all over, we're now also hearing Charleston White using this moment to capitalize off of it economically. And so we're finding out that during this case, Charleston White tried to make it seem like he was appearing to be supporting the Carmelo Anthony family and believing that he was trying to protect his life and supporting him, knowing that the way that the case was set up, Carmelo Anthony being a Black man of color, having an all-white jury in the same town where the event took place, it was going to be tried in that bench. His attorney never asked for another county for this case to be tried. So we as the public are thinking that Charleston White is using his platform for good to support the Anthony family. So to make sure that both sides are getting a fair trial, due process. That's all. Okay, not because he's with Carmelo Anthony because he's Black, but making sure that he's also getting a due process. Well, we now come to find out this.
I went with the Metcalf family at first.
But you went back to Carmelo.
No, Carmelo daddy paid me $3,000 to meet with me. Carmelo family paid me to be on their side. I didn't just jump on their side. I was paid.
And to add insult to the injury, Charleston White is now doing something even more insidious. Since he can no longer ride the wave of the case actually going on and gaining everyday coverage by large news media platforms, he's now switching sides and saying that he is for the Metcalf family. And he's also insulting the Anthony family by getting t-shirts in mass production and giving life to one of the worst insults that Austin Metcalf's father said during his 3-hour racial rant. He called Carmelo Anthony watermelon felon. And if you know anything about the history of watermelon in Black America, watermelon after the emancipation of slavery was a fruit that was the only thing that a lot of Black people were able to afford to crop and to sell. And racist people at that time used that as a way to insult Black people because they were angry that Black people were now free. But throughout the times of American history, propaganda has been used to make it seem as if that fruit is something that makes Black people look unintelligent. And instead of using his own education, Charleston White is what I'm saying, and understanding his own history, he's buying into it and he's profiting from it. And he's insulting the very young man that he was out there every day representing and using his own social media platform. And this is why I said both Chud the Builder and Charleston White are both dangerous for the Black American community, because they don't mean the Black American community any good. They are only there to insult, to antagonize, to profit from, and to cause harm to, either through words and economically or physically. And not every white person is racist. You have a lot of white people that spoke against what was happening during that case and felt as if this was a case of black and white, and that it was unfair that the black of this case was not getting a fair trial like he should as an American citizen. And you have a lot of white people that do not co-sign to what Chud the Builder does. And he's finding that out, because he too has done nothing to help progress his own community. All he has done is to help perpetuate that white people hold racist sentiments against people of color, when that's not always the case. Not everybody's cut from the same cloth, just because you may be the same print. And so he too is a failure. Both Charleston White and Chud the Builder are failures, okay, independently to their own communities. However, they're both dangerous equally to the black community, especially. And Charleston White has the audacity, with his history and with his I don't know who would want to solicit him and pay him $3,000. I mean, the Anthony family, they must have really been desperate. They were desperate. They wanted to help their son any way they could. And so they thought that Charleston White was going to be an upstanding person and help them. But they were fooled. And if I were them, I would sue him. Because you gain money deceptively, soliciting your services and accepting a $3,000 fee tied to them. And you charged them for services. That's what you did. And you lied to them. And you're a snitch. And I wouldn't invite Charleston White to a roach fight. I would not. I wouldn't invite him to a roach fight. And this is the kicker. This is the kicker, people. Charleston White actually was tried for actually killing a white person for a crime that he actually was a part of in shoplifting. An innocent white man's life was taken at the age of 34 years old. Does the Metcalf family know that? The only reason why he got off is because he snitched on his friend. That's the only reason why Charleston White is walking around as a free man right now. Okay? And yet, Carmelo Anthony was trying to protect his life in a school, on a school campus, during a supervised sports event. Ain't that something?
I handed him the gun out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Juan Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled it off, and the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and two other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from an Arlington mall in September of 1991.
I finally got my dream come true. I finally get to be a white man. I finally get to be a white man.
No, what you are is one of them roaches in one of them fights that I would never go to. But anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Did you know about this at the end? Are you shocked? Are you not shocked? Ain't that something? Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening.